Hi, sweet friends. It's Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping, and I have an incredible guest today. We are with Darby, the GLP-1 dietitian. Welcome, Darby, to the show.
Part two. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I feel like this was highly requested and I had so much fun last time. So I'm here for it.
I'm so glad you're here. Mr. Freddie's here too. He even leaped up to say, welcome, Darby. We're excited to dive in to answer part two of our questions if folks are on Mounjaro weight loss, Zepbound soon weight loss, semaglutide weight loss, Tirzepatide weight loss, WEGOVY weight loss. We've got all of our GLP-1 friends, and I've got a ton of questions from y'all from part one. If you're tuning into this part two, go watch part one as well after you watch this part, and then go back and watch that. It's in the playlist down below. But let's dive into questions. Let's help give a ton of value in this interview with your expertise. And if people don't know Darby, you need to go check her out down in the description link below. But because she's a dietitian, there's a difference between a dietitian and a nutritionist. And last time I asked you so kindly to explain it to the audience, because I didn't know, and I want people to know your credentials are. Can you tell me what a dietitian is difference between a nutritionist?
I have worked very hard in school with a master's degree and over 1,200 hours of training in all sorts of disease states and circumstances to be able to pass a board exam and bring to you very credible information. So
I love that. I love that. It was the 1,200. I was like, oh my word, that is a lot of education on this topic. So with your education, let's dive into questions. We did last time on part one. You had given me it literally, not to be melodramatic, but it's kind of true, a life-changing tip. And I've told all my family and friends, I'm like, you need to, this is the coolest tip. We were talking about wardrobe, which hello, I was completely in when you told me wardrobe stuff, about having a capsule wardrobe, but having a food and pantry wardrobe and food wardrobe. Can you elaborate on that? And then I've got more questions off of that of what that is for viewers.
Yes. So just like you have your staple white shirt or your leather jacket, your black jeans, whatever that goes to, we have simple structures and items and ingredients in our pantries and refrigerators that are the backbone of our pantry and fridge. So just like you have a capsule wardrobe, you have a capsule pantry and fridge.
I love that. So from that, there were some questions of, okay, I have my top 5 pantry capsule foods and fridge and freezer, but I wanted to ask, what are yours?
Okay, so I really like to break it down, maybe not necessarily by area, but by food group. So like 5 proteins, 5 carbohydrates, 5 fats. And within that, you've got your fruits and veggies, which are kind of given. And I just introduced this concept to our group coaching call on last Wednesday, and I've been hearing their updates on that. So that's been really eye-opening. But I'd have to say my top 5 proteins, easy to go to, are some sort of ground meat with low fat content, which would be like a 90-10 ground beef or turkey or chicken. I'm going to always have chicken breast and chicken thighs. That's just what my family thrives around. We love Greek yogurt in our household, which is great for my little girl too. She's easy to make things out of. I typically lean towards a non-flavored because I can cook with it as well as using it like as just in smoothies and things like that. And then we also are pork eaters. I mean, that may not be always the leanest option, but we really like to eat, like, a pork loin is a little bit leaner. So that just kind of is something different in there. And eggs, I guess that would be 6, but I really like eggs. So those are my proteins, and I can keep going into carbohydrates and fat if you would like. But
I would love to know. I would love to know everything, and veggies too. I'm like dying to know. I'm like, I wonder what our veggies are and fruits.
Okay, so for fats, I love a lot of different types of nuts and seeds, olive oil, avocados. That they kind of intertwine, and variations of those ingredients for fats. And there's also fat within fish and things like that. So we've always got fish in our freezer as well. And then carbohydrates. I love pasta. People are so afraid, but there are great variations of pasta, like a protein pasta by, I think it's Barilla or Berea is how you say it. They have a great protein pasta. You probably tried it. It's delicious. Or if you like chickpea pasta, that's good too. Rice. Hello, I live in the rice capital of the world. So that it's just a staple in our house. Potatoes, things of those variations, sweet potatoes, red potatoes, those are kind of the backbone of carbohydrates for my meals. And then, as far as your vegetables and fruits, I really enjoy a higher fiber fruit. So you're going to find my fridge full of berries. They're really good in smoothies and salads and eaten alone and mix and matched with others. And so we've always got veggies, apples, bananas, oranges. But then as far as vegetables go, they go bad so fast. I had a group client that said, I've got them in my fridge, but they may not be very good anymore because they've kind of gone rotten. So I do laugh a little bit, but frozen to me is great. So I don't know if you like a frozen veggie, Elizabeth, but I mean, I keep like lettuce, tomato, and some other things, but for the most part, everything's frozen for vegetables because it's easier.
I feel like your training, because I am in your group coaching, I've worn off, because they had a recent at our grocery store, this huge frozen veggie sale. And I bought all these frozen organic vegetables that would have been so expensive, but they were not, because there were these huge bags on sale. And so I stocked up, and our freezer is full. And literally the Duke, my 8-year-old son, was like, "Mom, I want to make green beans later today." I'm like, yes, like that makes me so happy that my son is seeing these healthy habits that I'm learning from you of how on my 69-pound Mounjaro weight loss journey, like it's the mindset. Like Mounjaro is but a tool. GLP-1s, Tirzepatide, semaglutides, WEGOVY are all but tools. And you have a great saying. What's the phrase that you use about?
It's not the golden answer, but it is the golden tool. And so I was explaining to like a client earlier this morning, thinking of Mounjaro as your boat and you are the driver. So as it's your vessel, you are in charge of making sure that it gets to the location safely, that you have all the proper tools, all the proper fuel, and that you are just the driver and Mounjaro is the vessel or whatever GLP-1 you're on. So that's great.
And I love how within your group coaching, you also help with mindset and reframing some of the stuff. Because for me, it's been the battlefield of the mind. I've been on a diet since I was 8, 9, 10 years old. And so reframing all of these things of like, okay, I'm learning the tools, but also my brain is going to change with these. And so I think is one of your giftings is that you have been so helpful of helping people on GLP-1s see how they can change. What is one of the mindset things that you like to work on with clients in terms of relationship with food?
I really like to focus on big picture first. So we all have a desire to feel good in our bodies, to be our healthiest. Maybe it's more of a pant size or a scale, whatever. We have a desire, but we have to have belief that matches that desire to be able to achieve that. So that all comes down to our thoughts. Our thoughts give us feelings and our feelings take action. So we have to be really harmonious with all of these things in place, or adding structure and telling you how much protein is not going to do anything for you. I mean, you can eat right on the medication, but if we don't do this mindset work and really get our thoughts in line with how we see ourselves on or off the medication at maintenance is everything.
Yeah. We're going to come back to that. Okay. I had a question from a viewer who said, they said, "Darby, you're the expert. You're the GLP-1 dietitian. What do I need to eat if she was having Mounjaro constipation? What should she eat if she's having constipation? And if someone's having diarrhea?" We got to go to the gastrointestinal fun things.
Love this question. So if you are unaware of fiber intake, as a woman, we need 20 to 25 grams a day. So if we are, and these are also side effects of the medication, and sometimes it is what it is, but we can do our best to prevent it. I had Dr. Holly Lofton in the group last week, and she just talked about how some of us are just predisposed to certain side effects, and it is what it is, and like nausea, but there are things we can do. So for constipation, I would recommend good fiber intake and lots of, water as we choose our cups every morning, right? I know if you follow Elizabeth, you see she's like, which cup am I going to choose today? I love it. And I chose my Stanley today, by the way. I was very proud of that. But drinking your water, yes, drinking your water and getting enough fiber. If you're feeling constipated, that's what I would do. You can always turn to a supplement if necessary, but try to really get in good fiber intake through complex carbohydrates and green vegetables. Diarrhea, that's a really hard one, and it's usually pretty temporary around injection time. If you've experienced that, you may find that too. But the golden thing to remember is to limit fatty food intake during that time, and that's really going to help your body not have to flush out all that fat at one time. And it's just hard as you've got the delayed gastric emptying and your stomach's holding on to foods longer to be able to metabolize that fat, and it just gets a little unsettled. So you may kind of experience that as it's just kind of all sitting in there a little bit longer than it should be. So
Love that. Love that. Magnesium and weight loss. I had a lot of questions on this. I think that it's popping up big time for people. What are some of your tips with magnesium and weight loss, or thoughts, or can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
I think magnesium has more benefits than we're aware of, and it's really starting to come to light the longer we talk about nutrition, and we have research studies, but it's great for sleep. It's great for our digestive health. And there's a lot of great things that magnesium does. It has a calming effect to us. So that's definitely a supplement that if you feel like you would benefit from, you're not going to hurt by taking it. So I think that there could be a lot of good benefits from taking a magnesium supplement. It's not often that I recommend a specific supplement, but this would be one that I would recommend to quite a large audience of you guys.
And linked down in the description link below, I've got several different articles and things like that if viewers want to go check those out too. Zepbound is from Eli Lilly, the manufacturer of Mounjaro. It has FDA approval for Zepbound. It's the FDA approval for chronic obesity management. I would love to hear some of your thoughts on Zepbound now that it is a GLP-1, another one for chronic obesity management.
Very excited about this, but also very hopeful. I feel like people are already negatively thinking, though, what about the supply chain management? And I just want to, a lot of other, in all very realistic things, insurance coverage, but I want you guys to be thinking positively about the fact that this is a step in the right direction. We've got FDA coverage for Tirzepatide. I think it's a dual agonist, I believe, that, or it could be triple. I need to go back and double check that, but there's just something special about the Tirzepatide. And using that for weight loss. Semaglutide is wonderful too, but they work in a little bit different ways. So thinking positively that we're taking steps in the right direction to have coverage for that, and the fact that it's becoming available, and then we'll tackle everything else as it comes. So what I would tell you right now is, if you think you want to do this on Zepbound, or maybe you were on Mounjaro and like me, your insurance decided not to cover anymore, and you just don't have the funds to cash pay, which I understand, we're all in hard times. So go to your doctor, schedule an appointment now. We're seeing the supply to be available hopefully end of this year. So if you've got in place like an appointment with your doctor, you've already called your pharmacy, they're going to get it for you, then that is really good structure in place.
I love that. And if people are tuning in, I've got a great telehealth company that has a discount code in the description link too, if you want to go to the telehealth route versus your own primary care doctor. I switched from my primary care doctor because they were dealing with colds and flus, and they couldn't give my Mounjaro prescription. It took too long. So switching over to the telehealth for me has been an awesome way of getting my prescription. Okay, so questions from the audience, going back over. So we were talking about freezer stuff. What, in terms of like quick, easy foods along that thing, what are some of your on-the-go snacks? Do you like snacks? Like, are we allowed to be snacking? Like, are we allowed to be snacking? And then also going back to that mindset thing, and then I've got a part 2 of that.
Snacking will be individualized to you. I always recommend, if you're going to have a snack, be conscious of what it is, but this is your like dietitian saying it's okay. Like, snacks are good. Sometimes we need snacks between, dinner and not between dinner, between breakfast and lunch, or lunch and dinner, to sustain us. And as women, we have cycles, no matter if you're in menopause or not. So there are just times where we need more fuel, and maybe you are hungry. It's okay to eat. So yes, advocating for snacking. My husband calls me Snacks as a nickname, actually, because that used to be the only way I would eat, is he would just call me Snacks. So that's really funny. But as far as what I like to snack on, I like to make sure that I'm combining 2 food groups together for a snack. So it's never necessarily just a piece of fruit or just a bag of chips, which they're not bad things to eat. I know we talked about last time how, having food rules in place for what suits you. And if that causes a reaction where you want to binge, maybe stay away from certain foods. But if you want, or you crave like a bag of chips, like an individualized bag of chips, like baked chips. Let's say my daughter has this baked Cheetos in the pantry and I want some. I'm not going to deny myself the fact that I want that snack. So I'm going to eat that, but I'm going to add in some protein. So I'm going to have like a chomp stick. That's one of my favorites. I eat that quite a bit. RX bars are great in protein. But we want to have a carb and a fat, or a protein and a fat, or a fat and a carb together to make it more sustainable, because you don't want to just be eating to eat. We want to eat with intent. So, combining two things together would be what I would recommend. And you probably have some favorite snacks too, Elizabeth, that you like.
I do. I don't know. This is the mindset thing of like, I feel like I'm not supposed to have, because intermittent fasting background. And I know you've touched on this before, but like breaking that like, it's okay to have a snack. Like it's okay to eat in between meals. And so like for me breaking, and I love intermittent fasting, and there's so much scientific data behind of how it helps with cancer and things like that. And, but these absolutes for me are no longer serving me, of like not having snacks or feeling guilty if I do have a snack. So I'm like still navigating, like having a snack is okay. Like giving myself permission that like, I sound silly saying this even now, like out loud, I feel so like foolish, like saying it, but like it's what it goes, I'll stand there and be like, I'm hungry. It's not dinner yet. I'm not going to make it to dinner. And I don't want to binge eat, but I don't want to like, this is the ping pong in my mind.
Yes. And so just a little coaching moment inside of like what it could look like inside of the GLP-1 Girls Guide community, like me coaching you really fast. If you're hungry now, think about how hungry you're going to be in 3 hours when you do have dinner, or dinner's late. Like eat a little bit of something, and it's okay. So it can eat with intention to fuel your body, to feel good, and not to necessarily, just because that's what our rule says. And you talk about intermittent fasting. I truly believe I want my clients to eat in a way that serves them best. I have a couple of clients that love intermittent fasting. It's what's worked for them, and that's great. And I have some that it just doesn't. And so we want to be eating in a way that is mentally sustainable for you, but also physically. So I totally concur with everything you said.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been this whole process with Mounjaro, but also in particular with the GLP-1 Your Girls Guide membership has been game changing for me. It's been so helpful to like heal some of these things. I'm still on a pathway of healing, but one doesn't get over 100 pounds overweight. I'm on a 100-pound weight loss journey without having unhealthy habits that do need to be healed. So can you share a little bit about your membership and more about it?
Absolutely. So the membership is beautiful. I just got off a call this morning with a client, just talking about how in 1 month it's completely just transformed the way that she thinks about being on the journey. So we all have intent of losing weight on a GLP-1, but she's learning so much about herself and her mindset. So we've got calls, we've got a resource library, we've got community, we've got mindset trainings, guest speakers. I mean, if you want it, it's there. Mm-hmm. And I'm always adding value to that group, and you cannot benefit from it more. Like you get in what you put in, so showing up for yourself, showing up to the group, being present, but it's just, the women are incredible. Like I cannot say enough good things, and the smile I leave on my face as I walk out the door from the calls is amazing. They're great.
I love the accountability of it too, in addition to learning. Like I feel like the group and you are holding my hand as I go through each day of like navigating, like when I'm on my cycle versus not. Like there's different things of like trying to figure this out. I feel like there's such great support that you offer.
Thank you. That means a lot.
For sure. And folks can sign up. That's down in the description link below. I've actually got a discount code for you down in the description link below for viewers too. So, okay, we have another question on the go snacks. Mr. Freddy's like, snacks? Yes, please. We love snacks, Mom.
He's so cute.
He's really
my favorite part of the video.
So we talked about that on the go snacks, but what are some things if people have a quick, I mean, I have a very enriched schedule like you and so many people. What are some on the go, like when you're out of your house to go get? Like we're like, oh my gosh, I am running around with the chicken with my head cut off. I have to go to my kid's soccer, and I forgot I had to go pick up a birthday gift for our neighborhood kid's birthday party that's tomorrow. And then I'm out of the house longer, and I didn't put the crock pot meal in, even though I plan to. What are some on the go meals? And if you want to do additional coaching on that too, like please do. We would love all information.
Elizabeth specifically. So are we talking like maybe you need to run into the gas station and get something, or are you talking about like maybe throwing it in your purse? What?
Dinner, like if we need to get dinner on the go.
Okay. I always recommend looking at a menu and planning ahead. So maybe, you don't have enough time to cook 30 minutes of dinner. Surely you have 5 minutes to pull up a menu and plan what you're going to do. No excuses. We're going to do what we can while we can. And I mean, that's pushing you a little bit, I know, but sometimes we fall on like, I just don't have time. Like you have 5 minutes while you're pumping your gas, while you're waiting for the bank to give you your cash, whatever it is, to plan a little bit, And so if Elizabeth knows that she can only go through Popeyes on the way to the soccer game, that's all that's there. It's what her son wants, for crying out loud. That's his favorite place to go. I'm just saying, per se, like, what can Elizabeth do? So, they've got a great, it's called a naked tender. It's really seasoned. It's grilled. It's delicious. It's lean. You may want to stay away from the fried aspect of that, but they've got some other great sides. Like, you could do a side of their rice, or you could do a side of the green beans, which is a vegetable. Again, they may not be the most, the least in fat or the most ideal. You may not cook for yourself like that at home, but we make the most of what we have at our disposal. We make the best choice we can in that moment, and then all we can do is move on. So we do the best we can, and we keep pushing. So that's my recommendation.
With thank you so much, and I love that. With being family gatherings and having family get-togethers and things like that, of like, as we go through the year, there's July 4th and there's family get-togethers, and then there's Christmas and Thanksgiving. I mean, there's just an Easter and things like that, or other religious things that people are that. What are recommendations if people are with their family with food? In particular, like, well, I've got a lot of in particulars on that, but what if you have some comments on that, and I can go deeper.
I think that we could probably talk back and forth about the emotions that family bring up regarding a GLP-1, questioning your weight loss, questioning what you're eating, talking about your body. That's a whole nother area. Yeah. But in particular to food, I just say, don't give it too much weight. It is, again, I made a post about this. The decision you make it at Thanksgiving or Christmas or 4th of July or whatever that is, that one meal that you're going to be eating with your family is going to have less than 0.01% of action on your progress. So when you think about the big picture and that one meal, don't give it too much weight, first of all. Second of all, go in with a little bit of a plan. Like, bring a dish that you feel good about eating. If you're responsible for that, if you don't know what you're having, maybe ask the host and maybe game plan a little bit around your plate. Get a great source of protein. Eat a side that you love. Maybe that's mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, or whatever, if it's heartier, or maybe that's mayonnaise on your hot dog. If you're not a mayonnaise person on your hot dog, I am. It's a little bit weird, but whatever that is for you. And then maybe throw on, maybe you brought the veggie tray or the fruit or whatever. Throw on a little vegetables or veggies on your burger or whatever, and then you have a balanced meal. You've got protein, something you love, some fruits and veggies, and you can go on with your life. So do the best you can in the moment. That's all that we really can do sometimes. And that's not necessarily the specific advice people want. They want to know that they have to be rigid, but that comes with pulling the all or nothing mindset, baby. Let's pull back the curtain and let's be all in on you and not all or nothing.
I love when you give those reminders. I love that, because I am very all or nothing.
Yeah,
I love how you, I love that reminder. I think you had made a post on Instagram, and I highly recommend everybody go follow Darby. On her information is going to be linked down below, as is her amazing membership program that I actually pay to be a part of. I'm obsessed with it. I absolutely love it. And it's been so beneficial on so many different levels for me on my weight loss journey. But you had an Instagram post that for me, it was one of your things of like, this family get together, we're not going to be talking about my body. Because one of the things that was off limits, and I was like, amen. Like, I needed that reminder of like, because walking into a family get together, people always say stuff every single holiday. And I leave in like tears in the bathroom. I go, excuse myself, go cry in the bathroom, and I go back out and like put on the hostess hat. And I'm like, I'm not doing that this year. Like, I'm not having people talk about like, why is that even a topic of conversation anyways? But I love that you have such great tidbits like that on Instagram, that everyone should do.
Yeah. And like going back to the body comments, for example, and how to respond. Like, some people don't even know what to do in that instance. And it could even be a positive comment. And you think like, oh, wow, well, must have looked terrible last year. I think I look great this year. Yeah. With the family reunion. And it's just it is what you give it the weight that it deserves. So don't give too much weight to what you get to dictate your feelings. You cannot dictate how someone else feels about you. So do not give too much weight. That's hard too, but also don't be afraid to say it's none of your business. Like, if you need to take the conversation off of you, just keep it all about them the whole time. Don't talk about yourself, and then move on. Don't see until next year. Like, whatever you need to do as far as how that conversation goes. But if they are one of those Aunt Sharons that is just down your throat, wanting to know what you're doing, why you're doing it, Have you read the studies? Are you going to have cancer? All these things. Just say, I've made the decision that was best for me, and I'm so happy with that decision. Move on.
I love it. I love your response. That's one of my many reasons why I love following you on Instagram. But you have tidbits like that. I'm like, yes, I'm arming myself in like my arsenal of healthy self-care, healthy tools, healthy boundaries, and this new healthy mindset as this tool is a gift, and I want to make sure I'm maximizing it. And I'm excited about that. Final question, because I know you've been so gracious. Do we have time for a final question? Are you okay? Okay. If someone is having food chatter, the food chatter comes back, they're getting ready to titrate up or food chatter, what are recommendations from you for food chatter when when and if it returns for folks?
I think we're not going to know when it returns or how it returns or if it will, or what dose is the magic maintenance dose or whatever that looks like for you. And some people in the program have expressed to me that they experience food noise on the medication during times that they weren't expecting. So, maybe it's Christmas time per se it is, and you're used to watching movies with your family, or you're used to, going to a parade and you're used to food being around during that moment in time. You feel like it's just normal for you to just want to go binge eat 5 or 10 cookies during this time because it's what you've always done. So all that to say, we don't know when it's going to return, first of all, but what I would do is mentally equip yourself and understand that you recognize food noise for what it is. It's not true hunger, and that you want to, again, nourish with intent. It's okay to want to eat a cookie. That's normal. Like, I think you have to understand that there's not one person on this green earth. I don't care if it's Tom Brady. He says he doesn't eat anything but no sugar, no flour. Like, we all have these thoughts that we may want a cookie or we may want something. So acknowledge that's normal, first of all, and then think like, am I truly hungry in this moment? And I go into a lot of other tactics with my clients and specifics about how to handle this specifically to you, Elizabeth, and foods that you are triggering to you, and areas that maybe your mindset isn't as strong that we need to work on individually. But those are some great principles and questions to ask yourself and to expand upon in your journey.
I love that. I want to make a note on my over my house, nourish with intent. I love that so much. I love that because that's literally the direction in which I choose to, I want to be in that space, nourishing with intent. Can you share more about your membership for folks to find it? It's in the description link below, but a little bit more people are kind of on the fence, like, oh, I would love to know more about this program. Can you share a little bit more about your membership?
Yes, I will say nutrition is 30% of your journey. Mindset is 70%. It is so important for you not to only know how to eat, but why. And exactly what is it that you need to be expanding upon in your head to be able to absorb that knowledge. So if we've got those structures in place and your actions and your thoughts and your beliefs and desires are all aligned to accept this information, that's so important. So if you're on the fence, that is alone should be your golden reason why. You've got kids that need you. You've got your family that needs you. You've got coworkers that need you. And there's nobody like you in this lifetime. You're the only version of yourself. And so I would say that if you're on the fence, give it one shot. You won't regret it. We've got weekly check-ins. I think I've mentioned guest speakers. You're going to be overwhelmed with education. That is going to be of no shortage. I can guarantee it. But we're talking about things that you're not going to get anywhere from a doctor or on Instagram. We're really going in deep, talking about life and building lifelong friendships and memories for these ladies and community that they're going to carry forever. So join. It's great. And I will say we're coming to a time where I'm increasing prices within the next 30 days. This is going to be the last time you're able to sign up at the price it is now. So please get in the doors before that price increases. If you've already signed up, you're grandfathered in. That's great. But if not, you're going to miss out on that. So
yeah, no, I highly recommend it. I'm paying for my membership because I love it so much and I get such great value out of it. I mean, when I'm walking right now we're fostering a 130-pound dog. And so I'm walking her and I'm listening to your audios that you have about different, because I need that. And I need the daily accountability. And I've bought other programs of where it's like, where it's like an audiobook or things like that, but it's not this daily consistency, weekly consistency, monthly consistency. That for me has been super, super beneficial of knowing as I titrate up and go through these different levels with a GLP-1. having someone with your background and your expertise and, you know, a master's degree with nutrition, that to me, I was like, check. Like that to me has been amazing. And I love it. And I'm in the group too. So if people are going to be joining, I'll be there. I'm there.
Yeah.
So
Wonderful. I enjoy having you, Elizabeth. You're so great.
Oh, likewise. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. If people want to put their comments down below, we may be doing a part 3. Maybe. I mean, we've gotten so many people in the Countess of Shopping community have asked me so many questions. And so I didn't get to all of them because of the time. So maybe we could do a part 3 in the future if you're available. So
I love it.
thank you for being on the show. And sweet friends, make sure you click that subscribe button, click that like button, and go ahead and get the resources, the free articles and resources and more information on the membership down in the description link below. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings because life is delicious. Bye, friends. Bye, guys. Have a great day. We will see you soon. Bye, guys.